Welcome to FamCollab. This is my attempt at creating a social media site. So let's dive right in. So you can go ahead and sign up. This is the sign up page. This is the HTML file for the sign up page. So this code right here, when you make a post on this form, all of the credentials in this form get sent to this Flask route called auth.signup. And auth.signup basically gets all of the fields that were entered in and then gets them as variables so then they could be placed in a database. In this case, our Postgres database. As we can see, database.session.commit, which means we add a new user in SQL Alchemy. And what happens upon a user signing up is they get sent a confirmation email to let them know that their account should be confirmed by clicking on the confirmation link. And the reason why I do that is so I avoid dummy emails or unverified emails to be placed in the database. I think it's much safer and much more secure if users have to enter in a real email address so they can sign up with this site. And what happens is a token is generated and a confirm.url is confirm underscore URL is also generated from the token, which is then sent to the user's email, the user that just signed up. Now, I set a few things for this link, confirmation link. One of those things is that it has 172,800 seconds before expiration. That's 48 hours. So you would have 48 hours to click on that link and activate your account. Without further ado, let's create an account for ourselves. So we can go ahead and can use my email and use this password and click remember me. And we can go ahead and click sign up. And what will that do? What that will do is a confirmation link has been sent to our email. So we can go ahead, click on this confirmation link. This is an email letting us know that we should click on this link, which will send us to another part of the website, which means that now we have confirmed our account. So once we do that, we can finally log in with our credentials and click remember me. There is also another feature here called forgot password. If you were to do that, you would get sent to this page where you would enter in your email address, and it's the same as the confirmation link. So you would get sent a password reset link to that email address that you enter in here, and then that link would redirect you to a page on FamCollab that would let you replace your old password or create a new password. But we're not going to do that today. So I am just going to show how we can log in. We can go ahead and log in. There's also a login route here, and this login page uses an HTML form. So same thing as here. We get the username and password as two variables. And now once we log in, we get redirected to a page called feed. Now this page is empty, but in the second part, I'm going to show you a little bit about the profile page, the search page, and what I have so far. Welcome to the search page, search users.html page. This page enables us to search users based on their username. And how that works is we can go ahead and enter an MAR, for example, and this is the account that I just created. There's only one account in the database, so we're just going to get one available account here. You see this account hasn't been set up yet, but we'll go ahead and do that in the next step. As you can see my name, my username, and when I joined, approximately the time that I joined. Now, if you notice something, we get results in real time. So we don't have to press enter, or we don't have to submit anything. We just get it in real time. And what the technology that enables me to do this is called jQuery. And jQuery has a method here called post, and the URL is /livesearch, which lets us display results in real time. And as we can see right here, I have a main.route slash live search, which right away, this is run multiple times, and you can go ahead and it searches the database, the SQL Alchemy database user.query.filter for any keywords. And if a subword is in a word in a username or first name or last name, then it's going to be in this variable. This variable is then returned and JSONified, so then it can be represented right here in this HTML where we have all the image file, the first name, the last name, and that's what basically happens. So MAR, and we get this. Now I'm going to go ahead and explain the profile page very soon, since we don't have anything set up here. So I will go ahead and do that very shortly. Okay, welcome to the profile page. Right now, as you can see, this is my newly created account. The default photo is right here. Uh, there is nothing written here because we haven't set it up yet. And we have two buttons, Edit and Settings. Now, as you can see, everything else is for display. We have the account creation on this date. Recent photos, this is just a bootstrap design, which has nothing to do with the actual app. As we can see, we have two options, Edit or Settings, and we can click on Edit. Now, when we click on Edit, we can go ahead and choose a file to submit, so we can create a profile picture. Once we do that, this line of code will execute /change photo, which will basically request that file that we just entered in, and there will be a path of that file that we just placed in, and that file will also be saved in the static folder of the Flask app. So what you'll see is you'll have your username in the database, and then for that username, there's going to be a path in that database, and that path in the database is going to be where your file is, where your profile picture is in the static folder. So if we were to do this, we can go ahead and choose file. And let's say we choose this headshot, and we can go ahead and submit photo. As you can see, I have a new profile photo. If we still click edit again, and we can go ahead and change these account details, what that happens is we can go ahead and change hello, my name is Simon, and location would be just USA. Birthday would be October 27th, 1998. If we were to save these changes, then right here, this request method would equal post right here in the main route profile. We would retrieve the user where their ID equals the current user ID, and this is the current user, and their credentials would be replaced. So instead of my location being none, it would be USA. So we click Save Changes. We'd make a change to the database. We make a database, we access the database, and we would change all of this in our database. So we click Save Changes, and now we can see this file loads, and now we get my description, the location, and my birthday. We can also do a few other things. We can go on settings and we can change our username. Now keep in mind that sometimes the username may be taken, so we might not be able to change it, but we can go ahead and change our username to, instead of 99, we can say 98, and we can change our username. Now that's going to access, the code will access the database and replace the username. So instead of Markusevich99, the username will now be Markusevich98. And as we can see, you have changed your username, and we can see here that my username indeed has been changed. We can also go to settings again and change your old password. This also makes access to our Postgres database, and we can change our password. And right here, delete account, which is the thing that we don't want to do, but I'll just do this for the demo purposes. When you delete your account, we make it we access the database and remove that entire user from the Postgres database, and we also log you out. So go ahead and delete account, and we can click OK. Now we deleted our account, so that means your record, your username, your first name, your last name, your specific user ID, everything has been removed from the database. So if we go ahead and try to log in again, it says this user does not exist because we deleted our account. The rest of this tutorial is going to be how I got the database model up and running, how I connected to the Postgres database and integrated with SQL Alchemy, and how I was able to use the email functionality so that upon a user signing up, they get an email sent to them that wants them to confirm their email or reset their password. And one of the first things here is I have a user-defined class called user, and each user has their own unique ID. They have their email, first name, last name, and username. And now note that these can't be null, and they're all text. There's some other ones such as image file, and this is basically the default. This default profile pic.png is the default profile picture when you sign up for an account. Location, birth date, many of these can be null because upon signing up for an account, you don't have to fill it out unless you choose to. And confirmed and confirmed on, you have the date time type, variable type. The other things that I wanted to show is how we can connect to the Postgres database. And what happens here is in this .env file, we have a lot of confidential information. So in this file contains the URL, the access connection string for the Postgres database, such as the password for my Postgres database, the username, and which database. And this file settings.py, this just gets that connection string using this command. And how the Flask app knows that the database that we're using has a specific connection string is when you go to init.py. Right here, when we create a Flask app variable called app, an instance of Flask, right here we have a app.config, which configs everything in this settings.py. So our database underscore URI will know that our connection string is Postgres and not SQLite, which is SQLite would be the default database for Flask. The reason why I chose Postgres over SQLite is because Postgres is a much greater database, works much better. SQLite is a very small database and you just keep things on file and it's not really a real database. Postgres can handle a lot of traffic. One of the other things that I'd like to point out is how I set up the no reply email. Basically, I created an email account that's used to send email messages to those who sign up or who want to reset their password or confirm their account. Therefore, I use the mail underscore username and mail underscore password from the .env file, which holds the password and username of that email account. And it would be configured right here because everything config file is set equal to settings.py and everything in settings.py is configured right here.